the people gotta be here. Your skill gotta be up to par. I wish I had 5 more people. You know what I'm saying? Because certain things, dog. Every time there's a barber that really could cut, either we got him up the par or he got the fuck on. You know what I'm saying?
And well, that's the thing.
Deal with people who can't accept constructive criticism. LK, perfect example. When LK was him, he wasn't cutting that good. That man that came over there to the other shop and got a whole 360. Why? Because we're gonna fuck with you about cuts. Hey, dog, look. Yeah, that was dog.
And you got a lot of eyes on you too.
That's why that's inviting about the shop. As far as letting stuff walk out, that's how reputation.
Right. They're not gonna say that barber did bad. No, they're gonna say them niggas can't cut.
Yeah, it's gonna fall on the shop.
Yeah, them niggas can't cut.
Oh, we lied about it.
But they ain't gonna say exactly who it was.
So we'll get started here in a little bit. With or without anybody else. As the state's coming at 11, I'm sure people are going to be here for that. It's crazy if nobody is.
Well, Herbalife sent me a check.
Need to.
No, for real.
What's it, man?
Oh, the license. I put it in here.
Like
The state license.
the purple ones?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, funny that. That nigga got in every station. He got a real decent rebound. This is what it is.
You know what? That's because the Hispanic dude left it.
You damn right. See, I told you it was a good check for Herbalife.
What, $5?
$25.
Oh, yes.
I owe it.
Oh, yeah.
I owe it. Thank you.
I just want to remember the other shop.
But guess what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna go buy some.
That's not required.
I might go right down there and buy some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You just, like, after I told him the lease and everything, you just get out of it after that. I guess you got spooked or.
Yeah, I was just people.
Like, I wasn't even, I think we were going to do commission on with him or something like that. Something might be trying to work out with him.
Oh, with the kid?
Yeah. And you just,
Yeah,
and I said, hey, listen, hold on, let me talk to Mike.
I'm gonna tell you what the dad brought him in here first. His old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Step over.
Yeah.
It was a good situation. They're right. He was trying to get him out of the environment. I think out.
That's the thing. I just remember that whole shop. He's a great show. And he even got into a fight over a 16-year-old girl he was talking to at the time. I think he was like 20.
No.
And he brought a girl, the girl was talking with him, and the girl started talking to the other dude, so the other dude got into it. And like they all paid for the shop. She came in the shop with it, and then the son didn't want to fight him. The dad wanted to fight. So the dad came in on some prison stuff. He took his shirt off.
Showed his tattoos, bro. And his 13 across. Like 15 teardrops.
I say he out there. I think he killed my drugs.
I've been we've been there. He's one of the shops we knocked out.
Yeah. And then I think, once he messed it up with his parents, they probably kicked him out. And then what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Have a seat, ma'am. I know there's not a lot of space. I apologize for that. Sorry.
Yeah, sitting room only.
Sitting room only. We'll get started here in a little bit, probably like 10:15 or so. The people coming in. Also, we are live streaming this, so if you want to be out of the view of the camera, you can move it up a little bit. But you're like right there. You can be our model. Morning, sir. It's okay, going through his creative period. Okay. So what we'll probably do is run through some of the notes that I have. So we'll have enough time, or we'll be on time for each presenter when she comes. She should be on board or on time.
How long is this supposed to take? How long is it
An hour and a half. But it may go off longer than our student names. So she'll probably do a little presentation or more about
You want to see if you like it. Everybody else, hey, chill out. She took the stress off and chill out. So
we'll probably go through this pretty quick just to make sure that we have enough time for the presenter. This is what I actually going to do. All right. Yeah, we'll just try to stay with that. So I'll probably run with this real quick, and then anything else from you after that.
Why you look like J. Cole nowadays, bro? Like you about to get creative? You about to make an album, bro? Is that what's going on?
no, deep in Facebook. Deep in Facebook. I'm usually like that by Sunday. Tired.
Yes, gotta go home to bed.
Graciously accept these invitations. Sometimes go with you.
Not today, huh? Go.
You're thinking about your proud feelings and what you have now. Chances of you going to get smart.
Yeah, you know, the thing the shop. And I remember what the shop doing this.
Oh, when we diffused water, was it Tia?
No, not Tia.
It was one of the girls.
Yeah.
Oh, Ebony, right? What happened to make that show?
Oh, the girl with the dread, light skinned girl. She knew what she wanted to do.
Yeah, you always have that.
Oh, you mean the Candace?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that one, you do a master blitz, proper one.
2 shots of vinegar.
Outside.
Yes. A day.
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a lot of stuff coming out there.
I was 6 shots by Mark.
Morning, sir. I tell them I have to do stuff like that.
Brother G. Sure you walk with it like that? Yeah, man. Why not
Yes, ma'am.
See how was mom, man?
Hey.
Yeah, I ain't seen the mom in many, many years. Her sister and them.
Stuff all the time. So
Yeah, I already sent it out into the group chat. What's that?
They all tripping. They'll be all right. They don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, that's not true. But okay.
We'll have more time.
Yeah, she's scared. Man.
Right now, I still didn't get that text or email from the email. We'll get started in about 3 minutes here. All right. So we'll get started here. And when they show up, they show up. So first, I want to go over a couple issues that have been completed, ongoing, and proposed. Also, at the end, of course, we'll want to introduce you to I want more people to come in so they can know everything that you guys do in services and things like that. Right before the financial wellness seminar, the presenter will be here running on 11. So first, completed issues, the light replacements, and we had all the lights replaced. Thankfully, that was successful and it took a little bit of time, but it all got done. We had a lot of blinking lights, of course, as you guys know. So we got all that done. So thank you for your patience. Music volume and language. So thank you guys for that. I haven't had any complaints recently about that at all. So that's been great. We definitely, that was like a big deal at the beginning and everything like that for some of the other customers that were coming in wanting a little bit more quieter environment. So that worked out well. Garbage collection, we've added cleaning days. So instead of just a Friday, now we have like Monday nights and then even during the week, like Wednesday or Thursday. So we added those cleaning days to make sure that the shop gets a little bit cleaner. Sir?
To interject the trash though. If you're doing that, the trash is not gonna go out trying to throw food stuff in the garbage that if tomorrow is gonna be smelling. You understand what I'm saying? The garbage is not going out and set.
Right.
Maybe you can just toss it out in the back.
Right. So if you keep on top of that, even with the personal trash bins that you guys have, making sure that you empty it out, especially if it's filled with any food items. I think we're gonna add beauty ladies in the back there, probably add a larger trash can, maybe out of like, may not look too right, but I think it'll be best with the amount of trash that is being generated back there. Good thing, good problems to have really. That just makes us busy, right? Ongoing issues, hot water issues. So we're on top of that. We're working, we've gotten quite a few quotes on that already. So really it's just a point of saving up just to make sure that we don't cover all of that. We're going to be working with somebody that might be suggesting to get that done. So please have patience with us on that one that you already have. Thank you. Shampoo area, cleaning up after yourself. So what I've done is given out little buckets and trash cans or little small bins so that you guys can actually take your shampoos back and forth until I actually get some cabinetry put up. Again, that's something that I want to have done by the end of February. So please be patient on that one as well, and try and keep that back area as clean as possible because the amount of people going back and forth there, you want to make sure everyone has space to actually put their products. I know it's a little bit harder for the stylists to do because of the amount of products that are used and then the frequency as well. One complaint that I did have is language in the break room. So I know it's a break room for everybody and everyone talks back there, but I've had complaints from some of the customers even about the language coming from the break room. So if you guys can, please tone down the language in that area because we do have people that are like right there. It is the nature of the space. It's a bit of an open space. There are no ceilings, so it's hard for like soundproofing or isolating sound. So please be wary of that for other people's customers and then making sure that we have a decent environment for everyone. Leaving food containers on the table. So this is really an issue with like, I should say hygiene, but of course that brings critters, you know, so that brings through roaches or anything else. You had pest control come in here, spray and everything like that, but I've seen things crawling around. And I don't want people to leave those things out because it'll just generate more of that and they'll keep on coming back. So please, dump anything, anything's left on the table. There's one or two people that I know do it, so I'll talk to them separately. But anything that you have on that table, make sure when you're done with it, clean. You know, at the end of the day, if you feel that you may have left it by accident or something like that, or as soon as you see it, just go ahead and clean it. Not if it's yours, not just anybody's, but if it's yours. I see it a lot on Fridays when we come in and clean. There's just a lot of stuff left out, and I don't want it to be something that's going to create a lot of bugs coming in, more bugs or anything like that. So this is something that we'll be handling hopefully this week, making the sliding doors safer. So that's been a big issue with people just pulling the entire door off and it comes off the hinges. That's kind of the nature of the barn doors, but we have a solution that's already been put in place on the private room and the break room area. For that, I've already texted the person about the changes for improvements. So we'll be putting that in place and actually doing it for all the doors just for general safety. So that's just something that's been an issue. Sinks leaking. So the back shampoo sinks, we've been told that it's been leaking. I've seen it personally finally, seeing the actual leak, where it's actually leaking from. I want to say that it's possible that somebody could be hitting it or kicking the garbage can into it. It's just something I'm gonna have to talk to a plumber about just so I can actually improve that. If you guys see that, let me know, but I know exactly where it is. It's really just the gray canister and then going up back into the chase where all the water drains. That is a little thing that there's like a little washer at the nut right there that needs to be tightened. But what happens is it over tightens and then it'll just like loosen up again. and that's a part of the issue. So that is something that I just have to get somebody in here to look at and see if I can actually make an improvement somehow, so that doesn't happen, because of course that's a safety issue for you guys. So that's as far as the ongoing, that ends that. Proposed fridge cleanup. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys having any problems with the fridge? You know, things being left in there too long. I don't really check it. I don't go in there because there's nothing in there for me, or is it probably eat yourself? But is there anything that you guys think about that? One thing that was proposed by someone is once a month to actually clean out the fridge. You know, just get rid of everything that's in there. I don't know how people feel about that. Nothing. Yes. Good. No, don't use it. Okay. If it becomes a problem, it'll be something that I'll let people know before we actually make a move on something like that, just so I don't like step on any toes or throw away people's things. Directory of services. So I will work with Shay on this, and I'll have her go around. I think she already started it at one point, getting all the services that you all offer and making sure that we have a list of that, so that we can actually better direct some of the customers or clientele that actually come in here in terms of walk-ins. So if I can get a directory of services, like for instance, not just barbering, but doing things like, it's interesting on the phone, doing things like Ivory. Ivory does the like bleaching, hair coloring, and things like that. Any other services that you guys offer, products or anything like that, definitely we're gonna have Shay go around and talk to you guys about that. So expect that to come, please. The next thing is finish adding TVs and benches. So TVs, especially in the stylist area, and then TVs up here, and getting rid of this piece of crap. Getting rid of this piece of crap and getting that taken down. Costs money to take all this stuff down, and then we have priorities, other things that we want to save up for that we want to make sure that we get done. So we'll be adding the TVs here as originally proposed, and then the TVs in the stylist area. So that will be done. And then benches, I just have to keep poking my dad to get those done. So that will be coming, so we have more seating for your clientele. Marketing, advertising screens, need more content. If there's anything you guys want to change on that, any ads that you guys want to put up for any services or sales that you may have or anything like that, that would be great. Any information about events that you guys have, definitely want to put that up there, especially while you have it there. You know, it is for everyone here. It was something that was discussed in the last meeting in October. So it's been put in place, and we want to make sure that you guys utilize it even for your own benefit and your own good. Use of social media posting form. So we have a form that we put out a while back that was put into the WhatsApp group. I can resend it, but essentially you can upload your pictures, any postings that you have, so that we can actually put it on the social media pages for the shop. So something like that, if you guys want to actually use that and have us advertise for you, please just go ahead and post to the form, and I'll send that out to you guys again, just to make sure everyone has it. Affiliate marketing. So this really gets into you all partnering with one another and doing things to improve the flow of business for one another. You know, recommending people. So if you have your favorite barber or a barber that you partner with or a stylist that you partner with, then definitely say, hey, listen, how can we do things to improve, or how can we do things to push traffic to that person, and then the same thing vice versa. So just pretty much work with one another so that we can actually gain more customers, gain more clientele, and then also just make this a one-stop shop for a lot of people. General price list, a starting point for walk-ins. That's another thing that Shay will be going around talking to you if she already has it. But we want to get like a general price list for everyone and say, hey, listen, you know, $20 haircuts, shampoo, or whatever other services that are offered. So we can actually get that and start putting it up on the screens so people know. And then, of course, numbers associated with those services so that, say, hey, listen, it's a shampoo and wash on Tuesdays, expect this, and go from there. Good morning, sir. So the last thing before I let Mike come up here and get started, outlook. So we're working to fill the spaces in the barber section and the stylist area. Definitely want you all to recommend anybody that you think would be a good fit here. Anybody that actually could benefit by being in this environment. It benefits us, of course. If there's any subletting deals that you guys want to work out as well, in terms of saying, hey, this barber wants to come in and I want to rent the chair out for $250 to that person. Doesn't matter to us. We don't really care. We want to get it. We want to fill the space at the rate that we charge. So for instance, the chair is $200, then we charge $200, you get the $50 every week. Then of course you would have to deal with collections from that person. However you guys want to do that. It is an option. It's something that is available to you. We've talked about it like minimally before, but it's something that, it's a possibility for y'all. And pretty much that's it for the main stuff that's going on in the shop here. Again, I want to stress using the advertising screens, using the form that I'm going to send out for you guys, just to make sure that you guys can actually start advertising the sales services that you guys have. When the presenter comes, Shani comes for the financial wellness portion of all of this, I definitely want you guys to ask about ways that we can actually improve product placement for you, or you can improve product placement for yourself. She's worked with a lot of people in this regard. So for instance, if you want to start selling more products or anything like that, I've talked to one or two people here about that. Also doing anything like online classes where you're like doing instructions or anything like that. My first business, or my original business, is as a computer consultant. So use me any which way possible in terms of like doing streaming like we're doing right now, doing online courses on Udemy or udemy.com. If you go on there, it's udemy.com. Essentially, you can go on there and start selling classes for like $10 a pop and do entire seminars. I've done a lot of stuff on there myself. I've learned a lot of new skills from that site as well, and that's worked out great for me. And I think it can actually work out great for you in terms of actually selling your courses. I know we've talked about one or two things of like, hey, just put a little nightstand or something like that right next to your station and have your products, a small little display case or something like that. Something that's not too obtrusive to the next station. But if it's something that we can actually put in place for you so that you can actually advertise any products that you have, great, let's do it. The more money you make, it makes it easier for us to collect rent from you and go from there. And then of course it just adds stability for ourselves, for our expense, or for our revenue and our expenses. So I want to stress that. I mean, we help you, it helps us, right? And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. And that's why we definitely brought in somebody for a financial wellness seminar to make sure you guys can actually ask that person questions on how to improve your business. But that's pretty much it. Mike? Right.
Did you mention the compressor system for the barbers?
No,
He's working on that. We just really waiting on Jason to give us a price. And we're going to get that popping. That's very important. I just want to start by myself saying I'm a person who works in the industry. I appreciate every one of y'all. Because we can make all the nice buildings you want, but really what made ToppCuttaz, the others shop is the people. So to back up what Mike was saying, I really believe in investing in people. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the first people to step up and say, I'm going to rock with you, I'm coming out to you. A lot of people that try to get it. Oh, man, come on, please, my. So one day I was like, on a Monday, I was like, man, Monday, just come try it. And if you like it, you stay. It's been going on 6 years. Most people at the other shop, the newest person is cheaper than them on 3 years, 2 years change. The point I'm making is longevity. When I spoke to these ladies, that was one of the things that really kind of drew us together, because wherever they worked, they were there for like 9 We're not shop hoppers, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're trying to cultivate. We really try to make a real good working environment. Spend more time here with our families. So things that we ask, like with the language of the music, if it offends one, it offends all. You know, like if it's not this man money, but this sister money, that just ain't good. I mean, it's never a problem until it's a problem for you. When your customer complains now, I've seen it. It's the very worst offender. As soon as there's a problem for a customer, we got a whole lot to say. So let's just keep it even in that regard. I appreciate that. You know, we all grown and we all know what we want. With that being said, even in the level of service that we provide, you know what I'm saying? We are very distributed in what we want. Like for instance, when we go out and eat, I know I want my food a certain way, my service should be a certain way, and if it's not that way, I'm gonna make it known. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to accept anything. With that being said, that's the way I try to administer my business. But all we got to say is our service. Ain't no customer service department. All that directed right back to you, the practitioner. So if that part of your business is excellent, you're going to just get that repeat business again. Now, if I refer someone to you, I really don't expect that call back, that text back again. I went to you, man, look, what y'all got going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the vibe. If the people that need to hear what's being said, as always, be the meetings. They're never. And again, I appreciate y'all for going through the fledgling stage of this business. The other shop, you was there from the beginning. You remember we went through that time. You know, it's getting there, it's a little momentum, and then one day you look around and like, when did we get so far? But you just gotta work hard in the meantime till you get to where you're going. You know, a lot of people new to the industry, they get a little discouraged when things not going their way. But at the same time, again, the people that can hear this, I hope you watch it. You only gonna get what you put in. You're gonna have to be a little uncomfortable in the beginning. You're gonna have to work for 7 days, you're gonna have to come in a little while for Christmas. You're gonna have to come, you remember G? I ain't know when to stop working when I first started in the park. You know what I'm saying? I was every day. You understand what I'm saying? My family had to tell me on Christmas, hey man, we're gonna serve food this Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? But I was trying to get somewhere at that time. You know what I mean? I was kind of on a mission. And a person like that, even if you plan on opening your own business, a person with that type of mentality inside your business is a real asset. Because why? They understand what you're going through, they know where they're trying to go, they're gonna play their role within the setting that you have. You know what I'm saying? Again, it benefits the body. Going forward, to add to Miss St. Bill coming, I mean, anything, I don't know a whole lot about. I did some reading, she's a Black enterprise, but anything dealing with changing the way we think about money, we need to start to listen. Because if we don't see now more than ever, things are very unstable in the world. You know what I'm saying? We got one of the last cash money businesses out here. And we gotta take care of the industry. Like, we gotta treat this thing like business. And a lot of us already know we got diversified. You know, I had a brother asking me, what I do, man? I tell man. It's like I just work. I'm good, I'm making money, I'm cool. But it's like you stuck. You making money, you're stuck. How? You know what I'm saying? How do I diversify? How do I get into business? How do I set up my retirement? Our last meeting, I had someone from New York like this that was talking about insurance-based retirement. I don't advocate for New York Life, I just know it's a solid company. It's one of the best owned companies to set yourself up. Yeah, tonight, afterward. Again, working with structure is gonna make you see a craft. People say, I got a job and I want benefits. Last I heard, you got a job, all the benefits, they talking about medical insurance and all of that, man, you pay for it. You pay for it, so why you, I don't get it. All the so-called benefits, every job that push that benefit, push that responsibility to the individual. If you take it as a joke, they're going up on every year, it goes up. But with that being said, even though you're not in that, you got to create your structure. And what I want to do is facilitate that happen, make it easy for you. If you didn't know something, information is here. You know, we have people that are savvy within the group on stocks. You know, we have people within our group in here that know a few things about a few things, other businesses, other lines of income. So if you can use the collectiveness that we have here, the boots what you got going, like this brother do graphics, real good. Y'all need cars, y'all need flyers. He gonna sit right here and do it. You gonna see your stuff. He knows the printer that's reliable. Joe's gonna get it right back to you in a couple days. You got the stuff. No headaches. And again, this is right within the shop. I have to do the head with the videos, you know. See, like the ladies, they ain't on Facebook and all this stuff like we are. But I guarantee you, if we were to go live right now and put their face on there, show them doing hair, you gonna have people hit your DM like, hey man, where they at? I've been looking for them. Well, I know these ladies for a long time. You know, they got the dental reputation. Like I speak to girls like my daughter, my mom used to take me to her when I was a little girl, and I'm taking my child to, you know, to them to get their help. But again, it's just all about us helping to promote one another. I really can't add much to what Mike had to say. I don't think we're doing a bad job here. I did want to find out what's the issue with the hot water. I just turned on the hot water. I cannot keep my hand on the water.
It fluctuates. So when shampoo somebody's hair, it'll be warm, then it'll go super hot, it'll be cold. It's like all over the place in one shampoo. So I can like snatch it back and out there and the temperature adjust, and I can go back and rinse.
Right.
So if someone else is next to you,
Yeah.
that'll alter your.
It'll also what's going on. Got it.
Yeah.
Which bathroom did you try that? The last spot.
First,
This,
the closer one, the big handicap.
the one by the door.
It's burning up.
It's burning hot.
Yeah, it's
Then the one before that, I can use it. Boom. So somehow the water is running real hot from where it starts.
right. And then it's just leaking out. So,
As
and
you-
maybe the centrifuge.
What I think you discovered though about that second bathroom is just something, a flaw with the general contractor.
They didn't even turn on the hot.
They didn't-
cold water at all.
they- exactly.
This is connected now. This if you know when you would put it on the cold side, nothing was coming out at all. So it was nothing to mix. You get it straight hot water in that first bathroom. So I think Rob fixed that. And there was a lot of settling in the line too. From when they first started, I'm going to show you pictures. He ended up taking it out.
So you're saying that second bathroom is better now, or?
Yeah, it's finished.
Oh, okay.
But my brother's gonna come and look at it.
The water.
And if need be, we'll just change it to a larger one, a better one, or that sounds to me like it's the centrifuge that pushes out the hot water.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just something we've been battling with, so I think that's something that we're just gonna, at this point, I just wanna change it out and call it a day on that. I mean, it'll cost, but at this point, I don't wanna go back and forth for too much longer.
Where will we put the tanks?
Well, the way it's suggested is that right above the actual wash sink or the mop sink in that break room, build a platform and then put the tank above that. Then have it drain into that wash sink as necessary. Okay, so that's actually the plan for that. It's just again, we just got to get Mike's guy in here to get that done, and go from there. One thing I did forget to do because I was going fast. Do you guys have any complaints that you guys want to talk about right now while the floor is open?
I just want to complain concern with the sinks, because a lot of the ladies, they have to actually sit on the back of the seat, that part that goes in the lower back. They have to sit there in order to fit. They're not, their backs are soaked. I noticed some of the sinks they're at different heights.
It can be adjusted.
Yeah, can it be adjusted? Like the one on the very last one is lower, so everybody can kind of fit, but if somebody's there, then it's,
Try to get angle.
Right. Is there anything like, because I see it kind of like with some of the sinks where they're a little bit, the neck is a little bit higher, but I don't know if it's just because they're tilted. All right, so if anything, we have to go through that with Mike. Mike, let's do that.
Yeah, they actually do move.
Yeah, they move, but what I'm saying is when it's at the lowest point, it's still too high for the client.
Still too high.
Yeah, they can't
That was the reason for elderly people and kids. That's why I put that fifth seat. So I gotta get that. I really gotta get that hook. And get them to see it.
adjust them.
Another life. Actually, to see you out.
It does?
Just know if all we have to do is pull them out a little bit. I think that would help. That's what you're saying. So the whole tip all the way down. You see it all the way back, it's touching. But I think if you pull it out, it come down.
If there's someone like actually screwed into the ground, I think on the base side of the sink, with the base
That's
section.
the back part. Yeah.
Right, with the chair now.
Yeah, I didn't want that to move because the connections are back. Pull it, yeah. We have this Romeo, this one of the barbers.
Oh, how you doing?
He kind of old head with a young head. This Stephanie, this Adrian, we do natural hair. We do a lot of stuff that they don't do. So a lot of times, you know a lot of people. Feel free to refer. That way you know they're not gonna come back and talk about, hey, with a ball head now.
Such small. I look like Mike.
What I'm trying to create over here, honestly, is a place where people that have care. They're here and they care about it. Since we spoke, it just keeps coming up that people pay $700 for the wig. They have that stuff. And then when they come to the person that got to cut all this damage off and try to grow you back and dye your hair and make it look like something, and they charge $400, y'all scream. Oh, what for? You got treatment, you got cut, you got color, you got all. And the girl went on her style see the show. Like, this is what I did. But you were going in and throw that money like it wasn't nothing. You were going to relent this chocolate off. Right. This is my point.
To color and cut and treat.
Listen, the girl put the young lady's hairdo on her page. I swear I saw it, I liked it, and didn't even recognize it without that weave in her hair. When it was out, like, what did you hear? Straight up. Because she said, oh, you like it? I said, how you didn't know it? And then the finished product, it was amazing. But you complained about how much it cost. How? Like, how? I don't see how. She rescued, she raised a chick up and let her rescue this young girl around that something. But my point is, we could get that money in the family. With knowledge, we just put information out there that, look, we got somebody within the family that can do that. You know what I mean? That's just where I'm going. I believe in that.
And that's a big part of just speaking with one another, letting each other know what you guys do, and then going from there. I do want to take this time, if you ladies can stand up, introduce yourself just a little bit for people who are streaming. That's okay. You don't have to stand up, though. Just a little bit, that'd be great, because then people can start to know, and that would be the biggest thing. And that actually helps me.
They probably be talking about it. I
I pretty much have introduced myself to each of them. I know I joined in the Gene and Pico. I call him Tito when I first met him. And I have 2 sons, and my ex-husband comes here, and he's all every person wants to who's the best, who's the best. And I'm like, you know what? I see all the work and all of them myself. So I'm honored to be with you guys. I think this is enlightening for us because we're coming from out of a sweet salon situation. There's ToppCuttaz. And you don't even see anybody, especially my sister. We came from a salon 18 years on 7th Avenue, and it was open concept. And when you're in open concept, you feed off each other. You can see things, you're inspired. But when you're by yourself, you just kind of have to rely on Pinterest and whatever they bring in, and you just spark your creativity. So I'm inspired by you guys, and I'm in awe. I'm like, you guys are doing facials, and he's doing this. I'm like, it's a whole world for me. So you guys are really, inspired. I want to say to each of you. And I really thank you, Mike. I'm glad I found you making Susie every day. Because this has been, I was back in school. I was getting ready to start everything else. Well, that's where my mind was. I was like, this industry is no good anymore.
We really trying to bring a breath of fresh air because people gonna come out of the streets. They're gonna stop being in the kitchen and they're gonna stop being in the
Well,
I promise you.
I hope so. I took away restaurants and weeds and wigs and all kinds of stuff. That's where I was. My baby sister. Yes, it does.
It's not done properly yet.
You just like that's what you're talking about, attraction.
But when your mindset is there, they're like, they're trusting the stylist to do what the stylist is doing, and they're just there. And then you get stuck, you have no edge, and now you feel like I have to do this for you.
Right.
So that's what they are.
Especially the chemicals too. And that again, before you talk, that's another thing, that's another business that's gonna grow. As we go into the next economic downturn, take that however you wish, whenever that might be within the next year or two. I watched that quite a bit and I listened to a lot of the comments about that. We have to find ways to improve our current revenue streams and then also bring on others. I mean, why is a computer guy working or running a salon or helping run a salon? I have to diversify. I have to go into the other things that are out there and the other streams of revenue that are out there. And I want you to as well.
I have Instagram. I do. I need to change the name. I've been like battling with what I wanted to do because it was originally the name of our space from Miramar, and I just didn't want to be here by injury. That just sounds so generic. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to be called.
I bet it get ball on your income. It's from this.
Yeah, like my girl.
I had to learn how to do it because I do hashtags and all kinds of stuff, but it's still not. I don't know. It's just
The best time to hashtag is when something's going on.
okay.
Like, for example, what's the thing that say?
Thank you, thank you.
I hear this one. That's not. Like we before. That's not.
Okay.
It's 2019. Hashtag even before.
Okay.
Again, that's the power of affiliate marketing, affiliating with one another, and then exchanging these ideas. So.
My name is Adrian.
I
I was super sale. We came from salon setting initially, and we transitioned to suites, which was hard. I think that's where space to be in that box. I feel like I became kind of antisocial because you're so confined that you just kind of just stay in your box and do your thing. But I'm very happy to be here. Happy to have guys here and nail tags. And like she said, we can feed off of each other. Creatively, I watch you guys work and it is amazing. So I'm looking forward to learn from you guys. And I'm excited to be here. Looking forward to seeing the future at the
Awesome. I gotta add, you know how shop picnic is here, you do know how to party, tentatively, Memorial Day weekend, but I'm gonna do it that Sunday, not the Monday of Memorial Day. I want to do it on that Sunday, the day before.
Do not get that shit, man.
Huh?
You gotta do
Oh, no, you know, we're going back to our regular barbecue guy. And 9 times out of 10, like Miramar Amusement Park, we're going to do C.B. Smith corporate division. It's for your family, your customers, everybody. Everything is usually what we do. We get 50 to everybody, you have a family movie like there. And I usually have everything, the food, etc. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna bring out the corn roast. Definitely gonna get the corn roast. Probably the game truck for the kids. We haven't had it in a while. You see it last year because the shop was building. But our customers really be put down like, hey, bro, we're gonna do it, and then we would like to probably later on in the summer do something for just the workers and our family that can get at the beach and get actually do a real beach day where we're on the beach. But we did Johnny Lloyd, so we have a building for the water right there. But when night comes, we have your spray or whatever. Boy, they got creatures out there. It was nice in the day, but as soon as it got dark, boy, the sand towards us. But yeah, it wasn't just the mosquitoes, but the mosquitoes too. But you pray for a mosquito bite there from Central America.
And no raccoons from fresh. Take that food.
At John, you know it. Also, we should be thinking about the classes and the products. I'm going to definitely let everyone know that's very important. With the product knowledge is coming. Because the more we know about this line that we're dealing with this, there's a profit margin in for all. You know what I'm saying? And that again, that's another thing that makes us a lot better. On the day, sometimes you're not busy, you're gonna collect the product. That's why people don't come a lot. It's running around selling food and last kids, supplying last classes, this and that.
The first part of it.
Right. Some days she's so busy off that she's very much food.
I just took a 3-day class with David Johns, and that's all I talked about. Everybody is thinking, but aside from social media, whatever you're endorsing, you should be selling. What they said the whole weekend is all they said. If you were saying this is a good product, you should be getting residual income on it. If you're not, why not?
Hello.
And I've listened to David John quite a bit on different podcasts, like, you know.
What's the name?
David John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like, he's definitely a genius on there. So like,
With Grant Cardone and all these people come here.
I love Grant.
I mean, like, you really should go listen.
Definitely, that's a name you guys should look up on YouTube. Grant Cardone is an extremist, I would say. Be careful with some of the things that he says.
But you know.
But what happens is he'll say things like, you know, what's a 401k? That's crap, blah, blah, blah. There's good and bad to what Grant Cardone actually recommends. So one of the my favorite products of his, or the one I was introduced to maybe a year or two ago, was 10X. Grant Cardone's 10X. And it was just a book that he had. I have the audio book. I can send you the link for Google Drive. I have everything in MP3. So that's something that you guys can just listen to, and I think it's just great. All he's really saying is be motivated. You can sell everything at any time, no problem, right? If you're making $200,000, I was listening to him just the other day, he had a little snippet. If you're making $200,000, you should be shooting for $2 million. And that's how he works. Everything is 10X. Everything is greater than what it can be. If you're making that now, why can't you make more? You know, and that's kind of one of the big things that he talks about. And that's why he goes crazy. He'll say things like, one gentleman that he was talking to, somebody that is an avid listener of his. Some people are a little bit brainless, but they make a lot of money. But for this one kid, he was very like knowledgeable and for whatever he was selling. But he would say like, you know, personally, hey Grant, I actually, I smoke a little weed or something like that. Grant's like, I'd kill you. And that's how Grant Cardone is. He says, any which way I can gain an edge on you, I will take it and put blood in the streets. And that's how extreme he is about it. That's good and that's bad. But you don't have to take all of that. But it is something that you guys actually want to absorb some of that information from Grant Cardone. And he's local too. He's in Florida. I forgot where exactly. I don't know if it's Broward County or West Palm. Yeah. And he does a lot of stuff. I've seen a couple of his 2 billboards so far, just in the area. and he sells glasses. So,
Well, let me say something about sales. I'm working some jobs that I had, even like this right now. Basically, you're selling yourself. Like, you have to believe in whatever it is. Just like you were saying, like, if you have a product that you like recommend to your customers on a regular basis, there's no reason that you shouldn't be selling it. And that's something that, like I'm talking about, I'm kind of talking to myself too, because I should be doing it. This is a product that I recommend like religiously, And one thing I realized that my customers always going to buy it, because they believe in whatever I'm telling them. They trust the doctor is selling it. Exactly. So I should have those in my station ready to, okay, well, here you go. This is how much it's going to be. I shouldn't have to send them to this place and that place to pick up that product. I should have it ready online for them to be able to buy. That's an easy street with anything. That's a no-brainer. And once they start seeing results, that's going to get you picking up even much faster. Because a lot of times you can recommend something to somebody, and because it's not readily available, they might not even buy it right away. But if it's readily available, they're going to buy it right away, and that's going to pick up your income. It's going to make more people be believers. The results are going to be showing on their cases. So you gotta just make people believe in whatever it is you do. And like the sales,
right. I mean, one thing like when my nephew used to go to the other shop and get his haircut. I think it was 1 year before school, or before school started, he was back to school getting haircuts and all that. And I think it was Chris, Jamaican Chris, over there at the other shop. And he had one of those, what was that sponge brush, the curl brush? He had that ready. And like, my nephew used to say, I want this every day. I want to be able to have that. Which was like, no problem, so on and so forth. I think he sold like $10 or something like that. You guys sell so forth. So having things like that on hand for your customers, even combs, like even some of your products that you use on a regular basis, that's going to be a big thing. Being able to, oh, by the way, she said she's going to be here about 11:15, so I apologize for that. But being able to assist your customers and not assist your customers, educate your customers. That's been a huge thing for myself. Letting my customers know, hey, listen, this is what you should do, not do. These are the email phishing scams that you're seeing on a regular basis. I just had a deal with the FBI case just the other day with a customer, and they lost. One of my customers lost 47 grand just because that person did not know what to do, and it was just a phishing email scam, and they got caught up with it. So things like that, educating your customers and letting them know is a big deal. And what you'll also see is, which surprises me, they'll actually come back for more, which is crazy to me. I did it because it's like, hey, listen, I want to make sure I can handle more customers. But what it did is the customers that I always deal with on a regular basis start coming back more because they like the education. They like knowing more. They like knowing that, hey, listen, Mike is the IT guy Mike the computer guy is the guy I can call just about any time of night, and he's always available to give me information, and he knows more about it. If he doesn't, he's not afraid to say, I don't know, because I'm not. And then, hey, listen, give me a second, let me Google it so I can figure it out. Things like that. Say that again? And that's very important. Once you start to build that trust, just not only in your service, but then also in your knowledge, and they start to see, hey, listen, this person knows what they're talking about, I can literally rest at ease. And that's what it does for them. They start to trust you more. They start to say, hey, listen, if I go to this person, that's it. There's nothing else I have to worry about. That's it. I've had it actually with customers say, hey, listen, I said, hey, do you want to get a warranty on this computer? They'd be like, no, Mike, you are my warranty. Like, not bragging, but that's what happened.
But in this industry nowadays, you cannot afford to not know. You have to know because they know more than you. They're on the line all the time. They're looking up stuff. They're challenging you. So you have to up your age.
And what age group too?
They're younger. These young kids.
Right.
They're not.
Right. And that's another thing that I study not much, but I listen to it a little bit more, demographics or demography, or the study of demographics. So with that, what you're seeing is the next generation, Generation Z. I'm a millennial myself, but Generation Z, as they're coming into the world, so to speak, they know more about business. They're more entrepreneur, they have more an entrepreneurial spirit. than the previous 1 or 2 generations. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal because what you're seeing is that these people are more knowledgeable about money. They're more conservative, so they don't screw around. Even my girlfriend, she's Generation Z. She's a little bit younger. So she's like on that cusp of Generation Z and millennials, right? Oh, Generation Z are millennials were born 1982, 85 till 20 years into the future, right? So that's 2002, 2005. Generation Z are all the kids, some of your kids, that were born 2005 on, if I'm quoting that correctly. So 2002, 2005 on. And a new generation starts every 20 years because at 20 is usually when you're an adult and you get out there, you're spending money and you're contributing to the actual economy. So it's good to know and understand that because what you'll see is that next generation, they will look at your Instagram, for instance, like my girl, she started looking at the top barbers in the area. Next thing you know, she's looking at Ibram and Romeo. I didn't even tell her. She was like, oh yeah, I see top-notch barbers, so on and so forth. I think ToppCuttaz is yours, Romeo? Right. So she's looking at these two, and she's like, all right, cool, I think I'm gonna go see Romeo. Sorry, I apologize. And that's not, I was like, yeah, I know Romeo, I can give you his number right now. Like, but I didn't have to tell her. And I was like, I own a salon. Like, I didn't have to really tell her about that. So that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a generation that's more online. And that goes to what Ivan was talking about being online and actually talking more and doing, well, not talking more, but doing more hashtags and getting more content and video out there. Everybody's recording every single thing. It's good and it's bad. It's a stream of revenue. You got kids on here making multi-million, like millions of dollars a month. No, every quarter. And they're just on YouTube, on Twitch, streaming video games, what have you. How can you tap into that market? What are you doing to actually reach out to those people? You know, what products can you sell? What services how can you improve your reach for your customer base? You know, and getting that. And I think that's very important. And I think that's something that you guys really need to focus on going into like the future, you know. Anybody have anything else while we wait for Shani here? Definitely want you guys to have questions for her. Anything that, you know, that can improve you and your stance, improve your well-being and issues that you guys are having now, possibly financially, or even questions that you have going into making improvements for your financial situation. As I said before, she helped me out and it was a great help. I was doing things already on my own to improve myself, but, you know, doing things like looking at what you actually have, what is an actual real asset. These are things that she actually affirmed for me and made me think more about, and then more on the credit side. So that was very important to me, and that was important to actually getting the actual money to say, hey, listen, I want to actually jump out and do this, you know, amongst other things. So definitely as we wait for her, I guess I'll open up the floor, or we can just get a water break or something like that until she gets here. But we should still be streaming, so we'll be waiting for that and we'll go from there. We said 11:15, so we got another 10 minutes before she comes in here, it looks like. And she'll be having books as well for everyone too, so definitely that'll be good. I'm gonna get some water.
And they're actually. Brushes.
That and that bucket in the belt. But yeah, that's fine. It's anything, I'm still gonna put cabinets up here. But that's with that. And then that's
Yes.
see, you're deciding we're like 12 and a half. Yeah. Hey, you like the screen review? I mean, you'll see it too well during the day, but maybe, I'm supposed to do it at the Yeah, I mean, especially. Well,
It's a group because that's anything that's proof, anything that doesn't is investment. So he's we don't remember something.
is that true?
You come with it for what?
If it has seeds, it's a fruit. It's a fruit.
That's what makes it a fruit called a vegetable because it's like you put it in the
Mine.
anything that has
I did not know. I did not know. That's funny.
Bananas are fruit, plantain is fruit.
Yeah. Which type of banana? Plantain?
They both have seeds.
Is that what the black green is in the middle? Oh, the little strip in the middle. Not in the middle. Inside.
Rain when you cut it, but
Right. Oh, okay.
they wake up.
Yeah. You know, like, you find out the little things, and it's like, I didn't know that this whole time. Or like, you see stuff on the internet, like, the Winnie the Pooh story, all the characters in Winnie the Pooh were a manifestation of a little kid that was a manifestation of his different emotional states. Like, Eeyore was depression, Winnie the Pooh was in anxiety and ADHD. No, Winnie the Pooh was ADHD. And then Piglet was anxiety and fear. Tigger was, no, I think Tigger was ADHD. Like, he was the crazy one and couldn't actually keep track of anything. The rabbit was worried, and then the kangaroo and her son were like a mother calling her child.
What is it?
Yeah, represented in something really cool. And I was just like, oh, yeah. But that's what happens when adults have to bring it up. And it really actually makes sense. I want to say ADHD, but I think that's wrong. Winnie the Pooh was possibly eating or like laziness, possibly. I forgot. I said ADHD, but that's wrong. That's the two. And then the owl. Forgot what the owl represented knowledge. Knowledge? No, usually yes. Yeah, that is true. What was the burger game?
What's that, the ice cream truck song, that favorite one? It's ice cream truck, it comes in your name.
Right.
It's the same song.
No. I did not know that. You know what I'm saying?
Niggas love watermelon. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
That's
Allison, what is that?
Yeah.
One of that thing.
Okay, the visitors about to walk in. If you guys can, silent your phone or put on vibrate, just so we.
I turned mine on just now.
I appreciate that. See your weight. I gotta go home and sleep. Just came off work. Okay. Everyone, if you can, bring your chair into this section. It'll be a little bit better for our presenter here. Please. Bring your chair into this section. You guys can bring your chair. Can y'all bring your chairs in here, please? Definitely have your notes or your questions ready, especially when we open up the questions and go over that. Rome, bring your chair. Ivan, sit, please. Bring your chair over here. Yes, there you go. Yes. Alrighty. So this is Shani Curry St. You probably seen her on the news. She was actually just Channel 10 for Christmas. Channel 4, right before Christmas. Pretty much financial wellness guru. She's definitely helped me in terms of like preparing my credit and doing other services for me. Just actually getting my mind right to make an investment like this job. Probably the biggest investment I've ever made so far in business. And I wanted to work. I did a lot of things to make sure that it worked. And one of the things was getting my finances straight, getting my credit straight, and getting my mind right to actually get into this. So definitely listen out to her, and she can help you achieve whatever goals that you have. Just definitely ask questions. Thank you. I think that is it.
Actually, if you watch CBS Sports today, I'll be on. I'm trying to think what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know if I'm going to be talking about how the government shutdown is going to impact the tax refunds, or I'll be talking about how to pay off your Christmas debt. One of those is two that I'm deciding. So if you watch today's CBS Sports at 7, you'll see me talking about one of those topics. I per se have like a special affinity for people in cosmetology because I grew up in a hair salon. My grandmother had a hair salon for 40 years, so I grew up there. So I have a little bit of an understanding of what the cash flow is like. That's one of the things that I do. I have an idea. I grew up on the money. I went to college on the money. And I came to communicate with people on the basis of just sitting in a hair salon all the time. Like, now I hate all those. That's probably why I don't have much hair, because I hate going to the hair salon because I spent my entire childhood in the hair salon. So I have a special affinity for it, especially since I grew up on the money. So, and then to kind of watch my grandmother matriculate into what would be considered retirement was a very interesting phase for her and for my family. Because when you grow up in a cash business, and I mean, I was walking up to my grandmother for whatever it is that I wanted. I was in her pocket like, here, take $50 here, take $100 here, take $50 here, or whatever had going on. She always had the resources in order to do that because it was cash business. However, my grandmother never became someone that was able to pass on a legacy. When my grandmother passed away, her legacy became other things, but it wasn't financial. So it's really good when you start thinking of yourself when you're in this type of business to try to figure out what type of real legacy you're going to leave behind. You do have the opportunity to really come into some good money. You do. I grew up on the money. You know, my grandparents bought a house on the money, cars on the money. Like, so I know that it's a good industry. It's just that when you're in a cash business, you just have to reshape the way you deal with your finances. Or one of the biggest things is that there's really nothing to pass on. You know, because when my grandmother passed away, my mom had to close down and get like a small little pocket just because of how my grandmother operated. Never really turned it into a business, always a hustle. So that would probably, if anything that I say, just really try to figure out how you can start thinking in your mind how you can move from a hustle into creating an actual bona fide business. That is huge. Your children can benefit from that. Your families can benefit from it. And if your children and your families benefit from it, you know that you're benefiting from it. So we'll just talk about some of those things. Guys probably don't take notes. You guys do videos at a time. For the ladies just taking notes, that's probably the first challenge. If I had a challenge and I would call the colleges at the beginning of the year, I would be by the end of the year, I would be wanting to figure out how I can begin to operate less like a hustler and more like a business. Even if I was inside of the realms of someone else's business, I would still operate as if I was a business within that business. Okay? So some ways to go ahead and do that are all of you guys, like, how do you guys do taxes? You guys can just kind of shut out very informal here. Like, do you guys, are most of you your own LLC? How are you guys in that way kind of organized individually? Most of you are. So if you're not in that way, then probably would be one of the first things that you want to do if you're kind of looking for some ways, like, okay, outside, like, okay, you're saying turn myself into a business, okay? How do I do that? The first thing would be make sure that you're actually incorporated individually, you know, as yourself. It doesn't have to be some of the best names, but Tanya Hair LLC, right? So that way when you do all your transactions, or you file your taxes in an organized way, that way you have bona fide write-offs. All right. In terms of credit would be the next thing, right? You know what would be really amazing is that oftentimes, this happened back in the 60s, back in the 40s, where when you work up under another one, you guys can organize yourselves to do that. There's so much black power within one room. It's always, really good to see. But really be able to get you guys to be able to duplicate the system that is already there. You guys get so good at it that you can duplicate it. One of the reasons why oftentimes we economically as black people is we don't duplicate very well. We can operate very well from a solopreneur. Like my grandmother, she can do that all day. But to really be able to duplicate what Michael has done here, that means like, sometimes we're thinking about $100,000 and there's $1 million out there. Just figuring out how you guys, that's another challenge for you guys to really be able to operate like that. So that way, but sometimes you think about at the end of the year, I want to get $100,000. There's $1 million like in your site, it's just a matter of what you're doing. It takes the same time, it's just different little plugins. The second thing would be credit. Credit is a huge thing. That would be the second thing that I would be challenging myself to do, to say, okay, where is my credit? Like, where am I in that story? The lowest credit score. Sorry about that. The lowest possible credit score that you can have is a 300. The highest credit score that you can have is at 850. So the closest, what I tell my clients is if it's looking like it's time to go pick up your children, the score ain't right. If you look at it 3 o'clock, it ain't right. It needs to look more like 850, right? Because if it's 3 o'clock, that's bad timing. But the closer you are to 850, you know that you are in the proximity of being real early, which means your credit is on par. And sometimes when we say, okay, why fix my credit? I think I started doing better scholastically when I got to college. Like, I graduated from Miami Central, so when I was in school, I just really could never really see the dotted line connection between information and implementation. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. Like, I was just kind of just going through the roads. It never made sense until I got to college. School really didn't make sense until I got to college. And the point that I'm making, I would like to talk about credit in that way so that you guys can see it in that way. So, yeah, great, it's good to have an 850, but why would you want to have an 850 credit score in the first place? Why would that matter? So first of all, when I look at my clients, well, another background for me, I had a whole bunch of jobs before I got to the news station. But one of the things that I did is I sold cars. I used to work for the Lexus dealership. I think I told you that before. And when I worked at the Lexus dealership, it was always very interesting. First thing I would say, the first most important thing, especially when I'm dealing with our kind of people, is oftentimes they were at the Lexus dealership, but they should have been at Toyota. It's the same engine. Same engine, right? Totally same engine. But they will probably need to be there just because of, one, their credit. So 2 people will come into the dealership, one person with A1 credit, one coming in with a cashier's check from the credit union, and they will come in and they'll say, hey, I'm gonna buy this car. They won't tell us how much they're selling the car for. They will tell us how much they're gonna buy it under the invoice price. I'll give you $1,000 worth of stickers is what they would say. They had A1 credit, they came in, they just paid cash. So there wasn't much of a conversation. So when you think about 850, think about, I want to be in the position whenever I have to get a loan on something, I want to be able to control that transaction as much as I possibly can. So if you're on the other side, you're looking more like 5 o'clock, you're not controlling any of the transactions. You're not controlling that transaction. If you're not at the table, that means you're on the menu. All right, so that would be 2 things. I would look at how much people would pay, the difference they would pay for something if they had A1 credit, and then I would look at their negotiation power. So that would probably be the first reason to improve your credit score. If you guys have questions or anything like that, just jump in, or otherwise I'll just keep. So, and I don't want to do that, but if you guys are just quiet, then I'll just carry on. Questions?
Look, now we go to be consistent.
Of course.
It's really good to hear the things that you're saying, reiterate the things I've been saying for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking a lot of time from someone else. Like, I'm glad it's very refreshing. I can sit back and watch you do what you do. But I mean, there's really nothing more I can add to it than that. Just appreciate you sharing. And I just encourage anybody at any point, anything that you don't understand, like when she's talking LLC, if you don't understand what that is, stop and ask.
You haven't gotten anything else yet. When did you do it?
I did about 2 years ago.
Oh, that's crazy.
They charge them and everything.
A person did it or you did it yourself? You did it yourself. Okay, then that means you need to call the IRS. You need to call them, you can go to sunbiz.org and see whether or not if it's already available, if it's there. If not, that means you need to call them. For sure. That's not something that you need to hire someone to do. That's really something very simple that you can do yourself. You just go online. Yes, ma'am.
How do you think about an S corp?
Well, the way that they're taxed. The way that they're taxed is very differently. So S corp will be as a solopreneur, and then the LLC will be more as a corporation. S corps, they don't have to pay taxes the way that LLCs have to do on an annual basis. So that's a little bit different. They also have to update on an annual basis. So that is a difference. For specifically tax information, who is preparing you guys' taxes? You guys have a tax preparer? Okay, then you would ask for the difference between the benefits of filing as an LLC versus an S corp. If that person is not capable of giving you distinctive understanding, that's not the tax professional for you. That's not the person that you should be working with.
A little bit I know about the difference between the two. Of course, limited liability, covering yourself in terms of your exposure to legal action is one. And in terms of S Corp, one of the biggest things that I know of is depreciation of assets. Dealing with trucks and larger vehicles, even your building. Or
So
anything
sometimes you may start out another way. When I'm working with small business clients, they normally want to start out as an S corp because you don't have a business, you don't have a building, you don't have all that. You're just an entity yourself. So have to outline those differences specifically, and then you will know what to make of. And then you may decide to start out as an S corp and then move over into an LLC because the taxation is different. That's the most important part.
You can transition from one to the other or the same tax ID?
You would have to get a new tax ID.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to get a new tax ID. And the only way, this is a different type of business, so you guys are qualifying for grants or anything like that. So normally, people who are applying for grants, they want a certain number of time for the business to be in place, so changing like that is new. That's actually what I did. I started as an S and moved over to LLC when I began to be more abundant. Yes? All right, so we're moving down the credit line. Okay, so we started at 300, that is the lowest you could possibly bleed. 850 is the highest that you can. One of the reasons why you want to improve upon your credit is you want to control that table as much as possible. Things that you can do right off the bat without actually coming and sitting with me. There's people that watch my videos, they never come to me. They just improve their credit score based on what they see. Some people don't have the time, so they actually come and work with me themselves. It really doesn't matter. What matters to me is that you guys can control those tables where you're at. Doesn't matter how you come, just control those tables while you're at it. Some of the things that you can do without even communicating with me is that if you have a credit card and they're giving you, well, let's start if you don't have a credit card, right? Let's just start there. What if you don't even have a credit card and that's because the credit's so bad, no, nobody will give you no credit, right? They don't pay you attention. Okay, so there's the one way that you can do that is get yourself a secured card. You want to get yourself a secured card. You can get that from Wells Fargo. You can get one from One United. You can get that from Bank of America. You can get that from whatever bank that you're at. Just go in, the difference between the secured card. With the secured card, I'll go in, I'll say, hey, I'm going to give you $500. You're going to give me a line of credit. That's what's secured. The people that have a little bit of trust, they walk into the bank, they don't give anything. They don't give any type of collateral in exchange for giving that loan. You just walk in and say, hey, I need $500, they give it over to you. So that's the difference between having, 3 o'clock credit and 8:50 credit. You got me. All right, so but if that's where you're starting, you want to start. The point of the matter, this is one of the things, if you never start, you never finish. So you gotta start. If you want to improve your situation, you gotta start. And actually, I think.
And also, the amount of time it takes to do that.
Yeah.
We, touch on that as well.
The amount of time to improve your score?
Right.
Okay, so if you're working with someone like me, it's gonna take, you see change within the first 30 days. I can get my clients change within the first 30 days, but the entire time period in which we are in contract together is 4 months. How long does it take someone to individually improve their score? Probably about that same 4 to 6 month period. It'll probably take just that amount of time. But you gotta remember, when you're dealing with credit, sometimes people get a little bit discouraged because they're thinking of their credit. You gotta think about, you gotta give the credit bureau a personality. See, for me, I like to give it the personality of an auntie, right? Because an auntie, she's not like your mom, right? Your mom is a little different than your auntie. When you holler at your auntie, like, hey, let me get $1,500, I'll pay you back when my tax return comes. She might be like, okay, whatever, but you make sure you give me my money back, right? Great, you got the $1,500, tax season comes. You done forgot what you said, You done forgot, man. You just had way too much fun, So now, you don't really want to show up to deal with nothing. Because your auntie knows you got her money, right? And you don't know how to do that. You don't want some new shoes with the washy closet every day you do. Like, I know, she watching you crazy. That face right there, that's what she got. Right? And that's the personality of the credit bureau. It's watching you like your auntie. It sees you. It's like, oh, you took my $1,500 and you got other stuff. What's wrong with you? I want my money, right? And then it's like a whole year later. So finally, you come back, it's a whole year, you dodge your auntie for everything. At most, you sit up for New Year's. At most, and you like, it's been a whole year. I got it going for New Year's, All right, so tax season is back again. You want to clean up your face. You're tired of hiding out. You're like, crap, I got to pay to sell you the money. Tax season is back. You feel like you got to look slaves, right? So you're like, here, auntie, here goes your $1,500. How your auntie going to act? Stank, right? That's how the credit girl gonna act. Stank. It's gonna be like, you done had my money for a whole year, you ain't paid me, and now look at you. That's how the $1,500 is gonna seem. But you're trying to rebuild this credibility with your auntie, so she asks you to do something, wash the car, you're like, okay, cool, I'm wash the car. She tell you to pick up her kids' work, so you're trying to rebuild it. That's the same way with the credit bureau. It's gonna take a little bit of time for you to rebuild that relationship with the credit bureau just for your auntie. And the minute that you mess up again, she asks you to do something again. You say you're gonna be there at 4, you come at 8, how's she feeling again? He's acting this old same way, and then they're gonna drop your score. That's how you have to think about the credit bureau. Sometimes when you don't give it a personality of a person, you just think of it as a system. But if you give it a personality, you'll know how to deal with it. Say that a little bit.
Negative reports on the credit, the credit bureau,
so what are they thinking of you? So depends. So the thing is, the hardest thing for me to get off is late payments. If it's 1 or it's 2, I mean, just think about it from a system standpoint. Like, what you want to tell your auntie about you being late? Like, you gotta really have a good reason for being late, and you gotta keep having a good reason, and eventually that reason is gonna run out. It's really not substantial. So I don't really have a lot of control. I actually, unfortunately, have more control once it becomes a collection. Once your auntie don't want to deal with you no more, she's gonna hand you over to her uncle. She only talks to you. She's high. She's high.
What about this extra? It's a collection, we get the collection out. You know what? Pay off the debt. You want to go back to auntie.
So you probably can't go back to auntie. That's probably no. Your auntie is done. She sees you as a non-trustworthy person. She's probably not. She's gonna be side-eyeing you for the rest of your life, and that's something you just gotta deal with. She's gonna tell your girlfriend you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna tell everybody else not to let you borrow nothing. That's how the credit bureau is. That's how it is, huh? She gonna tell everybody. That's how she gonna tell everybody. She gonna let them know. Even after you pay me back, that's the thing. So it is better, right? So if you borrow, then you pay it back, because it's like your auntie. She gonna tell everybody. She gonna tell your grandma. She gonna tell your uncle. She gonna tell everybody. And she's gonna tell them for at least 5 years. She gonna just keep telling me, don't let me borrow no money, nobody needs my money. That's how the credit bureau is. It's very non-forgiving. So you can't. Now, so what ends up happening, right? So let's say that has been the situation. You've been treated the credit bureau like your auntie. Let's say that has been your situation up until this point. How do we begin to restore some trust? So number 1, we have to accept that auntie is probably done with us, okay? She done. She really ain't gonna let us borrow no more money. But it's been 5 years. I mean, I'm not in college. I'm not just starting. I'm a better person. Now, I know you don't believe me, auntie, but I'm a better person, you know? And I'm gonna show these other people that I'm better. My chances with you, they're done. I have to accept that. That's okay. But what I can do is maybe I can get like a foster auntie or somebody else that might look out for me, give me some money, because now I want to grow my business. Now I would like to become a homeowner. Now there's a product that I have that needs to be financed. There's some other things that I would like to do. And more importantly, I hope that a part of my time and space with you guys is that it's a piece of elevation. There's so many things that I wish that my grandmother would have did, because I mean, time is so short. It seems so long, but typically the difference between $100,000 and $1 million is just skill, talent, and what you're doing with that time. You know, and the only way to transfer from making $100,000 to make $1 million is usually just intensifying what you're doing to make $100,000 and then changing the relationship. So if you guys don't have products, start thinking about products. Start thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Start thinking about it. I mean, start thinking about it. You know, start thinking about it. All right, so back to your aunties. So forgetting that relationship is over for sure. I mean, for sure, because oftentimes, right, us is, we have a lot of talents and we have a lot of skills, but we invest a lot into other people. We spend all of the stuff that we can use it to grow and we put it into other things. So that's another one of my challenges is like, how can I reallocate some of my resources so that they can work for me? That's one of the biggest things when it comes to us. Is oftentimes we are trading dollars for time, and then we go back, the same way that we traded dollars for time, we go back and we go spend that money in a way that is not going to come back to us. All right, so of every dollar in our community, we keep 11 cents. That's because we spend so much money out, not enough in. All right, so back to the aunties. All right, so let's go. We have to sever that relationship, but I'm trying to build some new relationships. It's been about 3 to 5 years. I'm a better person. Firstly, I'm going to go about this is I'm going to give myself a security card, right? So I'm not going to expect for you to give me a loan, right? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to treat it like, Grandma, just hold this money for me. Just hold this. Just hold this $500. Just hold this $1,000. Just hold on to it. Right? So the fact that you don't keep going back to your grandma saying, give me $50, give me $100, give me $20, give me $60, give me this. She knows that you're managing without that $1,000. She knows that you're managing. And on top of that, you start adding to that $1,000. You get paid every week, you drop her 10%. That's for those who better take notes. Sometimes people can't think of what to do. 10% of everything that you earn. 10%. You can change your life with 10%. That's the first habit that I try to give to my clients. Change your life with 10%. Every dollar that you make, take 10% to the side. 10%. Once you create a habit and you see those resources, it's going to give you momentum to do other things. 10%. 10% of $500 is what? All day long. 10% of $5,000 all day long. It's easy. You put it aside, you don't think about it. You don't think about it. You just forget. Put it to the side. Treat it like your grandma. Here you go, Grandma, hold this for me. And then you don't go back for it. And all the time you're not going back for it, Grandma is starting to believe in you. She's like, he ain't as bad as that girl said about him. I know what she said. She always talking about people. She always got something to say. That is the appreciation that you begin to build in the credit bureau, in your financial life. It's something about just having access to resources just makes you more creative. I don't know which one is more creative. I don't know if being broke makes you more creative, because I do both. I don't know if being broke makes you more creative, or if having money makes you more creative. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure it out. I go back and forth in my mind, like, was I more creative when I was broke? I was more desperate when I was broke. I was a lot more desperate, yeah. So the things that I did in exchange for money is way different from when I began to get some income. I started thinking in a different way, but I don't know which one is stronger. I don't know which one has a stronger impact. Looking in the bank and only having $5, and looking in the bank and having $50. I don't know which one is better. It seems like, I don't know. I think maybe the middle may be the worst, right? Like where you really, the middle is probably the worst. It's probably the worst. Yeah, that's what you lack. Yeah, you just kind of coasting along. You think it's going well, it's really not. Yeah. So broke is kind of really clear. I ain't got it, I better do something. And okay, got it. So in the middle is probably the worst place to be. Okay, so that's one of the first ways to do that. Another point that I mentioned with your grandmother, and I said, go and give her some money in exchange. And you want to write this down for those of you that are taking notes. If you have a credit card or you don't have a credit card, you want to make sure that you spend no more than 30%. No more than 30%. Because if you give Grandma $1,000 and you go get more than 30%, what is Grandma now thinking about you? You keep asking for the money you gave her. What's she thinking about you? You ain't got no money. You getting into trouble. You're not managing. Why you keep coming back to me? What about all the other money you earn? What you doing with it? 30%. If you're maxed out in your credit cards and you're thinking, how can I improve my credit score? Make a goal for yourself. Let me go ahead and pay these down to 30%. That's the most that you should owe. 30%. Right? Another thing that you want to do is put everything on auto payment. Auto payment. Auto payment. Put everything on auto payment. it drops your score by 50 points. Every single time you're late, it drops your score by 50 points. So, depending on, and I have to speak in general way because I don't know you. So, when I was broke, I didn't have overdraft protection. That's not one of the benefits I had. It's just not. I called the bank and I told them to turn off overdraft protection. Because I would do things like go and buy me chicken for $1 and then they'll pay $40 for it. So that's the most expensive chicken sandwich I would ever eat because you didn't have $1 when you grabbed your card and they charged you $39.95, you would pay $40 for a big chicken. Yeah. Exactly, right? So yeah, and then some of these banks, the banks bring in $8.5 billion in overdraft protection every year. Because they're counting on you not to have a dollar. They're counting on you. So $39.95. In some banks, they will charge you $39.95 for each transaction. So you got $39.95. Instead of paying $40 for gas, you pay $80 for gas, and then you got to go back and get some more gas because you ain't really hit. So I would turn it off. I wouldn't have overdraft protection.
But the reason why I said that, I know that if you have overdraft protection, and you know you're going to be they want you to be able to, you might not have it, you have to go in and pull out the amount after you don't pay that, pull out that whole $1,800, pull out, and then I'm going to put it back and pull it. So that's how it was working. The reason why I say, just to, I'm not keep it, but I don't like to have my things pulled out on that.
If you make one of your goals to be to save 10% of everything that you earn, if you make that be one of your goals, I don't care if it's 50, I don't care if it's 500, I don't care if it's 500. If you stick to that 10%, all that creativity that you're using, you can use that in another way. I understand what you're saying in terms of just managing, but that's just a lot. Like that's mentally, like that's just a lot. To go ahead and make sure, okay, I gotta put it out before they get it on 40, you know what I'm saying? Just really just managing from where you are right now. Start looking at where you're spending your resources.
And also like stop from wasting time.
Because I think one of the things for me, like during that birthday, you just be so agitated because you're trying to put stuff here and move stuff there, and it just don't work out. You get to the bed late, it's just too much, man, So it's just really trying to figure out what you can eliminate to stop managing in that way. One of the biggest things for entrepreneurs, one of the biggest things that they probably need to manage is what they eat. That's probably the biggest thing because of the amount of hours that you guys work. If you would just eat, for those of you who use calendars and those of you right now, because I'm in a mixed group between women and men, but if you would just write down how much you spend in a day on eating out, you're eating your capital, you're eating the opportunity, you're eating your opportunity because of the time of day that you're at home, because of the time of day, because of your hours, because of the time you get to. Yes, and for a lot of people, because of the time of day that you get home, all of that, just working in on other people's schedules, that's probably like a big way of just wasting. So a little bit of organization, because sometimes I look at my clients and they'll be like, I don't have any money. And then I'll look at every time they go out to eat, they spend like $500 on eating out. That's why you need money. How about you spend $800 going to the grocery store, because you in your mind, you set yourself up, this is the week that I'm gonna stop, right? I'm just gonna stop. So you go and you whack out, you spend that $800, you see you laughing. You know that like, this is the day I wanna do it. And then you go spend that $800, but you're tired, you don't have the organization, you don't have the support that you need to kind of do all of it, right? Next thing you know, you spend an additional $600 on eating out. It's real money.
That's what I do myself because I work a night job. Like I just came from it at 7 a.m. I just got off, and then I do my business during the day for computer consulting, and then even things like this for this salon and other things that I'm trying to get into. So I've actually signed up for a meal plan. It was a bit of a tough thing to do, but it says, hey, listen, this is how much I'm spending every week on the meal plan itself. And if anything, it's just I have those meals there, and I can just always eat those. It's something that actually helps manage my expenses. and then it at least keeps me eating like something decent.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the garbage.
I mean, you gotta eat decent food without it's not working. You gotta eat decent food, because if you eat bad food, like my mind is just bad. And I'm eating like the craziest stuff. I'm just, I don't have the patience that I have when I eat some French fries or something else. Like my patience is just in the garbage bin. Yeah.
I got a question for everybody. How much do you think is like too much?
So in the amount of money that you are spending on a weekly basis, so it's more than what you have in your savings account that lets you know that you need to do a change. That's probably the best mile marker. To look at how much money do I have saved? Do you like the amount that you have saved? And how can you begin to adjust your habit so that what you're eating can end up more into your savings account? Because that dollar amount may be different from everybody. It may be different. It just may be different.
Yeah, for me, like running and going all over the place. In 1 month, I would make, like last year was a decent year for me, so 1 month I'd make like $10,000 in 1 month. So out of that, I would say, hey, maybe $10 a day on meals, maybe even 15 or a little bit more, because I just have it. So you can kind of actually look at your expenses and break it up into percentages. So now, with the salon and everything like that, I cut that down to about $600 a month on just food with the meal plan.
That's huge.
Right.
That's huge. What you say? I can hear you. What's your name? What you say? Right there.
I spent $800.
$800 a month. Are you also buying groceries? No. Okay, so you're not also buying groceries. Is the type of food that you're putting in your body food or fuel?
It's half and half.
Okay. Well, it depends. In the way how you look at money, it's like. You eat a lot of food? A lot of Haitian food, okay. All right. Well, depends. If you eat food or film, only you know, and then only you know what's in your savings account. Only you know that, right? So it's always about how can I make some adjustments so that I can get to where it is that I want to go next. If you're on the steady, if you're on the steady up and up, then you might not need to do any adjustments. But if you look at that savings account and you look back at shoot and you don't like it, you got to do some adjustments. That's probably the best way to go about it. Yeah, $20 a day, $20 a day.
You gotta think about it. $20 a day on food and going out. So when I go out on the weekend, I'm spending more than just $20.
Yeah.
I'm spending on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So sometimes another reason why we stay in the cycle of things is that oftentimes we be trying to live like we got it. You know what I'm saying? We be really trying to we look like we got it. We be looking like it, but we ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? And having a house and a car, you ain't got it. You got a bill. That's what you got. It's the level up on top of that one. This one is right up on top of that one right there, right? House and car, that don't excite me because that's a bill. You said I'm signing up every month. What's impressive is when you have some level of residuals. That's what's impressive. When you can save up enough money so that when you not only have a house, now you can buy an investment property so that you can have some level of residuals. So that when you're here working, there's something else working for you. So when you're making some choices and decisions about what you're going to scale back on, it's really about the level of freedom that I want to experience financially. Am I going to eat all my ability? Am I going to eat it all up? Am I going to put it all on my pocket, on my back, in my driveway? You really got to really start reconstructing if economically we're going to get ahead. All right, so we talked about growing up. We're not going to be 30%. We're going to put things on auto drive so that we make sure that we are never late, because every time we're late, it's going to drop our scores 50 points. So if we're late in January, February, March, April, that's 50 points each and every single time. Some people think that's the total amount. No, every time you late, you're growing on side out of you. Every time, and you're going to drop that score. It's dropping your credibility. All right, so we talked about late payments. We talked about creating some level of secure account. We talked about how to give yourself some credit, how to deal with collect. Yes.
Anything I wanted to move into, definitely retirement, things like that.
Okay, so here we go. So the first thing we want to do is in ways to be able to move over into some level of retirement and having some level of life insurance. Right? That's very important. One thing about life insurance is that you can start where you are, right? Based on what your income is, you start where you are. You gotta have a base level policy, just a base level policy. Because I don't like being agitated. You can see, I don't like being agitated. Being in this planet on this world is just agitating enough. It's just agitating enough. So any way I can delineate some agitation from my life, I'm going to do it. I don't want nobody to die and I got to figure out how I'm going to pay for it. That's agitating. I'm already dealing with the fact that somebody's dead. I don't want to know how we come up with the money. I just don't want to think about it. So one of the ways to alleviate those stresses, I'm going to make sure that I have base level life insurance. And one of the things that I did with life insurance is that I would graduate. With my income, I would get a higher policy. I would get a higher policy. I'm making more money, I'm going to get a higher policy. First policy, you might start out with $200,000. The next year, you're going to move up to $500,000. The next year, you're going to move up to $1 million as you adjust your income. This is something that you have to really be. That's why when I was broke, I didn't even have no debit card because I had to touch my money. It wasn't the same on that debit card. It was just a different relationship. It didn't feel real. It felt like somebody else's money. But those $39.95, those felt like my money. I what the fuck? So, I was talking about something. Okay, so in the way how you do that is to have a real relationship with your money. It's just, if it sounds like this is high maintenance, it is, because it is your economic wealth. It is. You gotta be in tune with it. Term versus life. So term versus whole life. Really depends on where you are in your financial life. So ideally, you'll feel the ideals from me first, right? And based on the kind of person that you are, because I know you financially. I don't know what you do and how you do it and how you live it. I don't know anything about that. So I'm gonna talk about ideal. So ideally, when it comes to life insurance, I like to see people operate in this way. Have a term policy. That's what I like to see, right up there. Term policy is high as you can get it. I like people to have $1 million. Because I know if you pass away, you got another black millionaire in the world. Right? I like to see right at $1 million, right? Okay. So, and I like the term. And then I also like to see that person having the ability of working with an investor where they can invest the difference. Where they can invest, where they can get, in order for your money to keep pace with inflation and taxes, you have to get interest on it. Because when my grandfather used to go to the movie theaters, he would pay a quarter. My grandfather is now 82. If my grandfather wants to go to the movies, he got to at least spend $18, $12 to $18. That's inflation, right? That's inflation. So people be like, I don't understand why should I invest my money, blah, 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 blah. Because you got to keep pace with inflation. What you charge for a haircut in 10 years is not going to be the same. It's just not. I'd be glad that I had all them jobs, right? Ain't y'all glad for all my jobs right now? Like, yeah, all my jobs just come in right now. We're so finished. Okay, so keeping pace with inflation, that would be the first thing. So ideally, I like to see people with term policies at least at $1 million. At least at $1 million. And then I want to see that they are at least earning anywhere from 9 to 18% on their investments. That's the way I like to see people do. That is ideal, right? Under that ideal, right up under that, if you can't do term and then the investment whole life would be the next option for you. Particularly when you're talking about whole life, I'll try to block that down for you because some of y'all like me, like, what is the lady talking about? All right, she asked a question about term life. Term would be when you bring in insurance. You bring it for a time period. You saying, I'm going to get this for 20 years, I'm going to get this for 30 years, I'm going to get this for 40 years, I'm going to get this for 50 years. And that's going to be the price for those 50 years. That's you bringing life insurance. If you get whole life, whatever you sign up for, that's going to be your whole life. That's how much you're going to pay for your whole life. So if you agree that you're going to pay $200, you're going to pay that $200 your whole life. No matter how sick you get, no matter how rich you get, no matter what, that's the price that you're paying. That's why some people like whole life. They also have the ability to give you a little bit of investment within that. I particularly like to see people have a little bit more ownership over their money, where they have term life and the term, and then they invest different. You spend a little bit more money when you get old. I hope I answered that question. Yes? More questions?
Real estate? I know you're definitely deep in that.
I like real estate. I actually like real estate a little bit more than I like investing. When it comes to the market, I like being able to touch an investment. You know, I like being able to ride by it and see it. I like the residuals that come with having a tenant. Any more specific questions? Because I don't want, it's like a, you know, when you got coffee, I just want you to get the phone. You know, I don't want to get everything, especially if it doesn't apply to you. Any specific questions that are where you are financially, or your cousin, or your auntie, but it's really you, however you want to do it, it's fine, because I don't want to keep giving you guys a brain dump and then it doesn't necessarily apply. Retirement planning. Okay, excellent, excellent. So the first thing that you want to do when you're meeting with someone, you want to, for me, if I'm shopping for something, I'm always going to shop at 3. It's always going to be 3 people. I'm never going to make a decision with that first person that I sit with. And what's more important is that, you know how you guys are kind of tuned into this conversation, you're following me, you need to make sure that that's the relationship that you're having with whoever's going to be doing some level of investments for you. You understand what I'm saying, I understand what you're saying. The other thing that you want to do when you're picking those out is actually in my book. Michael got one for you guys, so I'm going to give each of you. It goes in there and it talks about how to hire someone who's going to be doing retirement funding. You want to make sure what their ratings are, and then the biggest thing with retirement is like with the questions. Oftentimes, depending on where you are financially, they really like to tie life insurance to investing. That's not ideal, right? Because they're probably going to cap those off at maybe about 3 to 5%. What you really need is about 18% on your money. So the money that you're giving to them, you need to make sure that it's at least 18%. Okay, in my book, it kind of gives you a dotted line checklist on how to hire, but keep in your mind, I need to at least work with 3 people. It's a little bit tiring, but it's your money. And the other thing about it is that you want to meet with those people annually. You don't want to meet with them one time. Oftentimes, people meet with someone that gives them a product, and then that's the end of the relationship. You heard about Imran? So, and then the more of those conversations that you have, the better you get. The more you understand. You have it 3 times, and you really can explain it to your son. You really can explain it to your daughter. If you have it 1 time, you sign, you give somebody auto payment, that's the end. You forget it. You go back to doing hair, nails, and whatever else, cutting hair. You don't think about it. Mike.
Clarify this for me. The report that they give you, is that a prospectus report that they give you for?
Yes.
For like any type of investment, mutual funds or
Yes.
such? Okay.
Yes, prospectus is how you can tell. Another, really, I don't want to give out, I'm giving it so many different areas, but another good way to know if a stock is requires a very intimate relationship with your money, very intimate relationship, but I don't even like to invest in stock if the people who own it are not investors. Like, when you look at Walmart, are the people who own Walmart investing in Walmart? That's how I would keep it out. But that's just, some of that stuff is in my book, so I don't want to give you a whole bunch of information you can't keep up with it because I've said a whole lot of stuff.
Do you go into the fiduciary relationship for
between your investor and
yeah,
you?
like
Yes.
Yeah, you go into that.
Yeah, all that is really covered. You guys gotta have some questions.
You answered all the questions.
I answered all of the questions.
You
Okay.
made very specific, so you answered all the questions.
Yep, it didn't take much. Okay. So I want to give away one of my free sessions. We're gonna do it in a raffle. All right. So if you guys have social media, go to personempowerment.com. The way how you enter the raffle. So you gotta do these 3 things. We're raffling a free session, a whole 1-hour session. Okay. So Person Empowerment on IG. Purse. Like copybook Person Empowerment.
Oh.
That's how you enter the win. So you like it.
You follow?
Follow? Okay. Everybody follow? That's how we do the raffle. Okay, hold on. Everybody follow? That was fast. All right, so go to personempowerment.com. All right, right there where it says schedule a 3 15-minute session. You guys see that? Click on schedule. That's with me, phone section. Right up under this, Shani says schedule a private session with Shani. Just hit that schedule an appointment. Just like this.
Shani today,
Here, and then just book a free 15-minute session right there. You can go with that, okay? Yep, you just book a free 15-minute session, and then from that, I'll do a top. Yeah. Free 15-minute session. Yeah, well, the free 15-minute session, you guys will get just as for me coming here talking to you guys as free. But I will pull a raffle from the people that did the two things. Each one, follow my page and then sign out the 15-minute session, and you'll get a 3-hour session in person. I'm gonna sign you guys books while you guys do that.
While she's here, guys, definitely take advantage, talk to her, ask her any questions about your own specific situation if you'd like, or definitely you can do that during the session. She's going to give you guys. It's definitely value. And in your book, you go over 401ks and things like that for entrepreneurs. Is there any like information you could spread right now about that, investing in those long-term investment plans that pay back? And then also a little bit in terms of like how that's affected by the economy too, because I know that's going to be a big thing here in another couple months to a year, how the economy is going to be affecting some of these 401k plans and pensions for people.
So interesting enough, anyone here would be getting a 401k plan. Everyone here would be getting a 403b, which is a little bit different. 401ks would be with your employer. So that's not something that you guys would do. You guys could go in and open a traditional, yes.
Okay, I was go to the point where I had to make it, did it where I pay myself, that, and I just work with you.
How many?
I feel like I want to do that just so that was why I don't have to worry about going to figure it out
So the two ways to do that is either through a traditional IRA, or you can get a 403b. 403b, that's for small business owners. A little bit different from people who have a 401k, because you guys are self-employed, so you need a 403b or a traditional IRA. Those you can max those out, whether you're single or you're married. If you're married, it's $5,000. If you're single, it's $3,500. So that would be a really great way to start in terms of putting money to the side. That 10% is right up there with very easy. If you're going to get yourself in the habit, you'd be like, okay, you're not ready to start this yet. So you start with just putting aside that 10%, or when you meet with an investment person, you can decide if you want to say, hey, I'm gonna do 10% of my income, into this. So 403B, 403B, or a traditional IRA.
Did you go into the tax implications of the differences between two? I think with the IRA, it's like you tax later.
So that's the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA. So there's 3 403Bs, Roths, and traditional IRAs. Those are 3. All of those are, okay, I do go over those specifically into my book. The reason why I don't want to just pour out a whole lot of information is because the tolerance for new information is probably about 50 minutes anyway, so some of the things I'm saying is just forget. But there's 3 types, the traditional IRA, the 403B. Okay, so the difference between your Roth and your traditional is when you're taxed. So Roth is going to be later, and IRA is going to be immediate. So you really have to decide whether or not you want your taxes to come out when you're going into retirement and probably making less money, or if you want to be taxed right now on the income that you're currently making. That would be the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA. 403Bs operate more, they're like the small business owners 401k. That would be the difference between a 403B. You can't get a 401k because there's no one to give it to you, so you can get a 403B. Which is pretty much the equivalent of a 401k. Yeah. And the hugest part about having some level of a retirement account would be very similar to, my grandmother, just really thinking in terms of, she saw the right now thing, she never got to see the entire picture. She just saw where she was, making sure that we went to college, making sure that there was a home, making sure all of those things. But being able to graduate from that state would have been a retirement account for herself. She had life insurance, she didn't play about that. Thank you. But having some level of a retirement account, because you will retire. Sometimes I think to ourselves and we think about ourselves as we are right now. But putting a little bit, and sometimes oftentimes I like to refer to it as like a opportunity, not just like what you're thinking about for retirement, but if we're living off of everything that we're currently earning, then what happens if an opportunity comes about that we want to take advantage of, but we've already exhausted it. So just getting yourself in the habit of putting 10% of your income, whether you put it in a savings account, whether you put it in an investment, whether you put it in an IRA, whether you put it wherever it is that you put it, just create the habit for not living off of everything that you earn. It'll be easier.
One thing I've learned personally with dealing with these different accounts is I listened to Tony Robbins. He had an extensive book about retirement and how you can fund your retirement. And one thing he would ask in class or seminar that he was in, he would say, what do you want to do in your retirement? He said, one story was the guy jumped up, he said, hey, listen, I want to fly private jets, I want to have a Ferrari, and I want to do all this in my retirement and having that much money. Well, he said, okay, that's great, but you can do those things on a budget. Also, like cutting that down. You don't have to have a private jet. You can use, I think it's like JetSmart or something like that, and rent out a private jet and all this other stuff, and find ways to save now, or think of ways to save now going into your retirement. Also, how much will it take to fund your retirement and your lifestyle currently? This is a big thing that happens a lot with a lot of athletes and celebrities, is that when the money stops, it's not the same. They're not saving for these things, and that's why you hear about a lot of athletes going broke.
How it's more relative to this situation as it relates to entrepreneurs is if you're living off everything that you earn, you can't ever take a vacation. You can't ever take a vacation. You understand? Like, you can never, if you get sick, you can't really be sick because you haven't put any reserves to just make it, oftentimes you want to go into other people's situation, the athletes, this and that, but as it relates to your day to day, just in your own life, there's just separate things for not spending all of the money that you currently earn. Otherwise, you don't get to go on vacation, you don't get to be able to be sick and just furthermore, you don't really get to grow or leverage your business. You don't ever really get to do that without creating some level of not spending everything that you earn. And the first way to do that, I'm always going to go back to that 10%. That's always, hopefully, of all the things that I said to you, you remember that 10%, because if you don't, if you want to be able to hire an assistant, or you want to be able to make products, you got to be able to have some reserves in order to do that. Yeah. Another thing that I like to do with entrepreneurs is look at your budget. Create some level of a budget to say, okay, this is the amount that I minimally need to bring in every single month. This is my minimum. Everything on top of that is icing. But I at least need to make $1,800. I need to at least make $2,000. You gotta know your number. What is your number? And then from there, you can be able to see, okay, here is what I can use to grow. If you really want to do something other than what you're doing.
And that goes into retirement as well. I mean, that was another thing where it was planning for your retirement. It's like looking at what you're going to spend money on, whether it's mortgage, whether it's a car note. You see a lot of older people, they're starting to drive the Genesis as opposed to like the big Cadillac or Mercedes or what have you. They're cutting down on their expenses in some way, shape, or form by doing that. So you want to think about that. And you also have to think about the morbid portion of it is, well, I'm 65, how long am I going to live? And will I have enough money for that? What do I have to do for, elderly care? Making sure that, I love my child, but I don't know if they're going to be there for me. Things like that. Can I live with them? Can I live with the person that they choose to marry?
Question?
What is your theory of like retirement or like how can you actually put that number to say, okay, well, if I do this, that, this is the other than people who actually do a lot of
Depends on the goals.
Yeah, it really depends on your goals. That's what I would make that. And there is a retirement, if you go to bankrate.com, for those of you that are taking notes, there's a retirement calculator there, bankrate.com.
There's like a ton of calculators. There's like a calculator for everything on that.
Yeah, you can plug in your age, you can plug in the amount that you want to do for expenses.
It's called
Bankrate.com.
They even have calculators, for instance, if you want to pay off your car early, how much it will save you at your current interest rate. Things looking into refinancing, they have things like that. Of course, mortgage calculators, amortization sheets. Like I've used bankrate.com a while. I don't use it as much, but it's great.
Yeah. So you can plug in your age, and then you can plug in your monthly expenses, and then it'll tell you how much money you need to go into retirement. But let's just use some base level stuff to decide, like, do you want to go into early retirement and what that looks like for you? I didn't grow up wealthy. I grew up all caps on money, and that probably gave me a delusion about what wealth really was. Just because there's always money around to buy some of the most expensive things, but when I got to college, it wasn't any money. I had to be in the financial aid line like everybody else. I had a Louis Vuitton. I probably was about 6 years old. I always went on vacations, but it just didn't ever really add up. It didn't add up. And I think that's a part of like why I like having these conversations. Probably why I even agree to have these conversations, because it's a passion for me. Just because I grew up in the industry, I grew up around it. I am who I am because of hair salons. I grew up in it. I was going to say something, but my point lost. It went somewhere in theory. He's going to come back. He's going to make it back. I was going to say something. I can't remember what it was, but it's you were saying something about retirement, like that made me go back into it, and it's about just the more
For having enough money.
Yeah, I think, in order to move, I think about had I been to my grandmother what I am now. My grandmother could have became something larger than what she was if she was just managing her expenses a little bit better. My grandmother could have created products, she could have created products. She She could have had employees, she could have had bigger shops, she could have done that, but because she was so focused on living off of everything that she made, she could never really get to that next level. And that's probably like the basis of my message today in terms of looking at how much income you're bringing in and how much of that income you're gonna put to work for you in another way. Whether if you do that through retirement, whether you decide to turn around and buy real estate, whether you decide to make products, whatever it is, what part of me allows you to grow? What part of me? That's what I was going to say about retirement. I would that yes. Question is one. Your question is one for
and that's what I did.
How much? I mean, it gave me a bunch of stories. It put me in front of you guys. You know, it put me here. It added that level of density to who I am. But I mean, growing up in a franchise could have added some density to who I am too. You know? Yeah, you know, everywhere that you go, it allows you to grow. But I could have definitely grown another way if my woman had a different perspective about money. So, as it relates to retirement specifically, so some of the things that I've been able to accomplish by not living off of everything that I earn. Number one, I drive a Lexus truck. It's 2010. It's also paid off, right? My house, when I bought a house, I didn't buy a $500,000 house. I bought an $80,000 house that's now worth $280,000, and I don't have to mortgage on it. So the numbers all make sense as it relates to, so if I wanted to go ahead and take $280,000 and go and put that in the market, I could. I'm not going to do that because I don't believe in disrupting my homestead. So when that's probably the first good choice that you make empowers you to make some more good choices. The first good decision that you make. That period of time, and oftentimes people aren't willing to make the sacrifices to get to another place. They're not willing to do that. They just want to have so much fun in the now, right? They don't. They just don't. They just want to live it like they got it instead of passing the faith that you don't have it. You know, you don't. Even me, I mean, paying off a house for $80,000 as it relates to my counterpart, a white woman, 36 years old. I still have to scratch the surface in order for me to catch up with her. I still have to really organize myself in a different way. That don't mean I still should just fall out, because if I'm catching up, exactly.
I realized that my kids be more
Mm-hmm.
What's more important to me is my kids get to a certain age, I want them to graduate high school and know that college is paid for, whether they have a scholarship or not. Like, I want my kids have a future, I want my house.
What's more important for me is that you teach your son how to cut hair. That's way more important for me than him going to college. Honestly, that your son knows how to cut hair. So if he ever gets into a situation, no matter where he is in his life, or if he gets a corporate job, or if he becomes a doctor, if he falls off, he knows how to cut some hair. He knows how to survive. That's more important, that he has a skill, a tradable skill. Going to college, plenty of people go to college, everybody can get $100,000 worth of student loan debt, and they can join the races. But can they be able to do a tradable skill where they can sustain themselves? That's more important. I love college, I went to college, it's all great and good. But survival is way more important. Being able to, one of the things my grandmother should have made me do, she should have made me slap some permanent people hair. She should have made me do it. You know, she should have made me do it. But I was the golden child. Golden child don't have to do nothing. So when golden child gets to college and don't know how to make her way, golden child got to figure out, I shouldn't have spent that amount of time in hair salon and not know how to put a permanent in somebody's head. So oftentimes we're really trying to give our kids something that we didn't have when they need to learn what we didn't know.
Yeah,
They need to learn how to cut hair.
That's my kids sitting there right now.
Right, he needs to learn how to cut hair. It ain't even a choice. If my kids decide to abandon real estate, that's their business. But if they ever fall down on short time, they're gonna know how to buy a property and sell one. That's base level. Everybody in your family should know how to do that. Your children should know how to do it. They should know how to do nails. That's another thing that we kind of lost in that little bit of change of not really making our kids do stuff. But how they gonna survive? That education, what's gonna do for you? You gotta be able
about that is because we don't respect this as a career.
Yes.
We use it as well, what we do this is gonna help me do that. No, this is a career.
It's a bona fide way of creating wealth.
That's what we're saying, it's okay for your daughter to do.
Yeah. And so unfortunately, I was in the hair salon as the golden child, right? And I know we was broke. We had the biggest house on the block, but we was broke. My brother should have made me cut to do something. Hood, real hood rich, so hood rich. You could have told me until I got into that financial aid line. You could have told me till my classmate pulled up with her kids.
That was a big thing even my time in college too. I played football, I had a scholarship and everything, but then, parents weren't sending money like that. I didn't ask them either. So I would sell CDs, and then I bought internet from the local internet provider, and then ran a cable to another room in the dorm room so they could play Xbox Live because the school network wouldn't allow them to do that. So now I was actually a mini ISP.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was get like a little small, but again, you're the computer nerd, so you're doing that stuff. I was selling mixed CDs.
Yeah.
As far as the haircut, that was a big thing, and thank you for bringing that up. That was a big thing for one of the other players on the football team from Texas. He was giving everybody that south side little bald fade thing where it's like they bowled off the rest of their hair and then faded to a little patch. It was like a south side Texas thing. But people would get that, and he was cutting right in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Right in the dorm bathroom. No problem.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, they can do that. I was golden child. Golden child didn't have to do none of that. I should have been in there cutting with people's hair in flat iron and whatever else. Exactly, I did it. I appreciate that, right? So whatever missed it, you got it. But even if that's not what I decided to do, instead, so we won't create jobs. These kids, they'll go out and they have to go work for someone else, right? They gotta go. Now they gotta become employed with somebody else who makes sure in any kind of way who makes it. That's the kind of stuff we gotta do if we really want to grow. It's kind of stuff.
Especially if you don't want your kids to come to you in 2 seconds.
Yeah, especially now, I want you this my money.
Does anybody have anything else? I know we've taken up a good amount of your time. We appreciate it. But definitely closing. I hope this helped out. If you have any questions, you guys signed up for the 15-minute consultation, and then hopefully, the person that wins the 1-hour consultation time with her will use that. Have more questions. Talk more about investments and other things that you can do for yourself and the people around you to make sure that you're just better off later on in life. And then again, your financial stability helps us, and that's going to help us in the future because we want to open up another location. That's always been on the board for us. So we want business partners, and we're hoping that we're creating things like that. All right, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.